Hey guys, what's going on? This is Brad from the Ed Army, and as we get closer and closer to the approach of Special Booster 2.5, it is time once again to cover another deck, and it's finally time for Digimon Seekers to make their way back onto the channel, as we are going to be covering the new Seekers type and or traded decks today. But before, as always, I have one little request of you. That is to go ahead and accelerate the sub count. We are marching forward with your support, and we're going to keep growing the channel with your help, and it always helps when you add yourself to the Ed Army. Additionally, when you look at What's the Scoop, you know that when you get a first look, so do I, as you can sit back, relax, watch, plug in, put this in the background, and simply learn about these amazing cards, and I can tell you all about them. So we're going to be diving into Seekers today, and we actually have a very interesting lineup, as we have technically, I would say, two supporting lines for two decks, but they're all tied into one typing now, as we obviously have the Fenrir Lugomon line, as it is receiving more support, and we also have more support for Pulsemon and its line, all tied together by the Seekers trait, as we top off, I think, having, what is it? I think 11, no, it is, 11 cards in total, including one Tamer, a brand new Tamer to tie the archetypes together. So this is very interesting, and we're going to go into it right now, starting off with BT20's Lugomon. This one is obviously a dual color card, being purple and red, but more importantly, it can digivolve on top of Baumon for a cost of 2 or a level 2 with, it can digivolve on top of any Baumon or a level 2 with Seekers and its trait for a cost of 0. For its on play, you get to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and you get to add one card with the Sons of Chaos or Seekers trait and one AG Nagasumi from among them to the hand. Then you return the rest to the bottom of the deck. Then during your turn for its inheritable, this Digimon gets 2000 DP. Very cool. It is a Dark Animal, X Antibody, Sons of Chaos, and Seekers trait. That's a lot, and you'll start to see as a theming with them. Moving into the brand new Lugarmon, this one can digivolve on top of Lugomon for a level 3 Lugomon, or a level 3 with the Seekers trait for the cost of 2. Very interesting. And then on play, when digivolving, by trashing one card in your hand, you may return one card with the Sons of Chaos or Seekers trait from your trash to the hand. For its inheritable during your turn, this Digimon gets 2000 DP. Obviously, for its trading, it is a Dark Animal, X Antibody, Sons of Chaos, and Seekers trait. Like I said, it's a bit of a theming, and you'll see it continuing. Now we have a Soul Lugarmon here, which is brand new at a BT20. This one is able to digivolve on top of Lugarmon or a level 4 with Seekers trait for a cost of 3, and then on play when digivolving, by trashing one card in your hand for the turn, one of your Digimon gains Raid and gets 3000 DP. Very cool. During all turns, when Tamer cards are placed in this Digimon's Digievolution cards, you get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less, and for its inheritable, during your turn, this Digimon with the Sons of Chaos or Seekers trait doesn't activate security effects on option cards it checks. Additionally, it is a Dark Animal, X Antibody, a Sons of Chaos, and Seekers traded card. Very, very cool. Now we're going to dive into the brand new boss of this Lugomon line, being Fenrir Lugomon. I almost said Fenrir. Additionally, for its Digievolution condition, digivolve on top of Soul Lugarmon or a level 5 with the Seekers trait for a cost of 3. For its main skill, it carries Scapegoat, and then when digivolving, you may play one level 4 or lower Sons of Chaos or Seekers trait Digimon from your trash without paying the cost. During all turns, when Tamer cards are placed in this Digimon's Digievolution cards, you get to activate one of this Digimon's when digivolving effects. Then one of your Digimon may attack a player. Very cool. Looking at its inheritable during all turns once per turn, when any of your opponent's Digimon are deleted, if this Digimon has Fenrir Lugomon in its name, you trash your opponent's top security card. And additionally, it is a Dark Animal, X Antibody, Sons of Chaos, and a Seekers trait. So now we're going to be diving into the Pulsemon line, starting off with the brand new BBmon, which is the egg for Seekers specifically. Starting off with BBmon, it has an end of your turn inheritable that once per turn, you may place one of your Tamers with Pulsemon in its text or the Sons of Chaos or Seekers trait as the bottom Digi-Evolution card of this Digimon with no Tamers in his Digi-Evolution cards. Additionally, this is a lesser and a bad in electronics and a Seekers traded card. Very cool. Starting off, we have the brand new Pulsemon for the line. This one can Digivolve on top of BBMon or a level 2 with a Seeker's trait for a cost of 0. During your turn, when this Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon card with Pulsemon in its text or the Seeker's trait, you reduce the Digi-evolution cost by 1. During all turns once per turn, when this Digimon deletes your opponent's Digimon in battle, you get to gain 1 memory for the inheritable, and this card is a Beastkin, a bad in electronics, and a Seeker's traded Digimon. So very cool and a very good effect. Moving into the brand new Bulkmon of this line, it Digivolves on top of Pulsemon or level 3 with the Seeker's trait for a cost of 2. And then on play when Digivolving, if you have 3 or more security cards, you may add your top security card to the hand. Then if you have 2 or fewer security cards, you get to recover +1. For its inheritable all turns once per turn, when this Digimon deletes your opponent's Digimon in battle, you get to gain 1 memory. This is a Dragonkin, a bad in electronics, and a Seeker's traded card. Moving into the brand new Boutmon here, the interesting thing about this is that it is a dual color, which we haven't been seeing much of, but we're getting more and more of. Being able to Digivolve on top of a level 4 with Pulsemon in its text or with the Seeker's trait for a cost of 3. So very cool. More importantly, the skill it carries is Fortitude, and it is able to, during all turns, when Tamer cards are placed in this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards, one of your opponent's Digimon can't activate when Digivolving effects until the end of their turn. For its inheritable, all turns once per turn, when this Digimon deletes your opponent's Digimon in battle, you get to trash their top security card. This is a Beastkin, a bad in electronics, and also a Seeker's traded Digimon. Finally, we arrive to the brand new Kazuchimon as the boss of this specific line. Starting off, it Digivolves on top of any level 5 with Pulsemon in its text or with the Seeker's trait for a cost of 3. It carries Fortitude as its main skill, and then when Digivolving, you get to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Then one of their Digimon or Tamers can't unsuspend until the end of their turn. During all turns, when Tamer cards are placed in this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards, get to activate one of this Digimon's when Digivolving effects. Then one of your Digimon may attack your opponent's Digimon. Very cool. And it's inheritable during all turns, once per turn, when your security stack is removed from. If this Digimon has Fenrilugomon in its name, you get to recover +1. Additionally, this is a Shaman, an Abaddon Electronics, and a Seeker's traded Digimon. But finally, we get to the true boss of this entire line, as we get to the brand new Fenrilugomon Takami Kazuchi Ace, as this level 7 is arrived, as we will get off into this, as we start off by being able to DNA Digivolve with Fenrilugomon plus any yellow level 6 with Pulsemon in its text for a cost of 0. Very cool. For its ability to blast Digivolve, it blasts DNAs, so you need specifically Fenrilugomon and Kazuchimon if you want to perform that. Additionally, during its ability to on play or when Digivolving, 2 of your opponent's Digimon get minus 10,000 DP for the turn. Then, if a Tamer card is in this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon delete one of your opponent's 10,000 DP or lower Digimon. Very cool. Additionally, for its when attacking effect, by trashing your top security card, one of this Digimon's when Digivolving effects can be activated, so very solid. It carries an overflow of -5, but more importantly, it is going to be a Dark Animal, X Antibody, Sons of Chaos, and a Seeker's traded card. Very cool. Topping it all off, we have the final card, which is our brand new Tamer, as we have Codecracker Fang and Hacker Judge, finally being a solid card altogether. First, and more importantly, for its security effect, you simply play this card at the start of your main phase. If your opponent has a Digimon, you get to gain a memory, so a memory booster. Additionally, during all turns, when any of your Digimon are played or Digivolve, you may Mind Link with one of your Digimon with Pulsemon in its text or the Sons of Chaos or Seeker's trait. As the ruling name for this card, it is always treated as Eiji Nagasumi and Leon Alexander. Very cool. Additionally, for its inheritables, we have a lot here. During all turns, this Digimon with Pulsemon in its text or the Sons of Chaos or Seeker's trait gain Alliance, Piercing, and Barrier. During the end of all turns, you may play one Eiji Nagasumi from this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards without paying the cost. This is a Sons of Chaos, a Bad in Electronics, and a Seeker's traded Tamer. So now that we've talked about all the cards, let's jump into what they can do. So mainly, I think the cool aspect of this entire line is that it absolutely is a major buff to all of the strategies it supports. So starting off, the main thing I want to talk about is the Fenrir Lugomon line here. I think the cool aspect of this card is that so much gets benefited from it. If you don't know, if you've never seen on my channel, I'm a big proponent of Fenrir Lugomon from BT14 as one of the best like budget boss Digimon in the game right now. Because if you were to play just Dark Animal, which is a deck in of itself that I've shown on the channel in a beginning deck, the key factor is that deck is very cheap, but also it was very good. Now the key factor is with the inclusion of this line, you can play a more budget version of the Dark Animal deck that focuses with using some of these cards, because you do play Belmon as your egg, allowing you to get into something like Soul Lugomon, which is an absolutely fantastic addition to that deck. But more importantly, it is a fantastic addition to the standard Takamikazuchi Fenrir Lugomon deck we see today, which is very solid because a lot of these cards may or may not see play because they're text. But the coolest thing is the brand new Lugomon means if you choose not to play Ukomon, you can definitely play this card because now you have an on-searcher Lugomon, and it was definitely needed, and I think this card is a fantastic addition. Talking about the brand new Fenrir Lugomon, I think for the Seekers deck, this is probably the best home for it and Lugarmon from this support, because they're good, but compared to the BT14 Fenrir Lugomon and the BT17 Fenrir Lugomon that plays out specifically something like the Kazuchimon from BT17, they don't really find a home in those decks, but they find a home in Seekers for sure. Being able to deploy a lot more Digimon to the field thanks to the Fenrir Lugomon's effect is a must, so it's very good. Additionally, we can talk about the Pulsemon line before I talk about Takamikazuchi. The key thing I like about the Pulsemon line here is that all of the effects that are added to this deck are very solid. So the key thing with it is that you really want to use them in conjunction with each other, because now the Pulsemon deck actually has a little bit more of a backbone in terms of what it can do. So one of the main things that gives this deck a big backbone is the inclusion of the speed that the deck now possesses. So what I mean by speed is that the deck is able to kind of turbo a bit quicker now by having the new Pulsemon reduce the Digi Evolution cost of cards. So being able to Digivolve for one on top of a lot of your cards when you Digivolve with the Pulsemon is going to be a huge step forward for this deck, because that was one of the problems. They were a bit slow, but now they can climb back a bit faster. But Fortitude is the biggest monumental thing I think this deck has now. So one of the main reasons I say Fortitude is that because this deck was really bad at rebuilding, when you lost your stack, you were in a lot of trouble. So a lot of times when Pulsemon players lost their level 5 or their 6, they weren't out of the game, but they had a really hard time climbing back. Because Boutmon and Kazuchimon have Fortitude, their best benefit is now that the Pulsemon line has some insulation to removal if they lose them by deletion. Now the key factor is Kazuchimon is arguably one of the best Digimon, I think, for the entire deck, including the Seeker strategy. The main reason why is that this card is absolutely insane because it has a similar effect to Fenrir Lugomon, but the key factor is this card suspends Digimon, keeps them pinned down, but the key factor is it'll then, with its ability to slide a tamer underneath it, you can trigger its ability to attack, and you basically suspend the Digimon in attack. The key factor you have here is that you want to put the new tamer of the Codecracker Fang and Hacker Judge underneath Kazuchimon so that it can use piercing to do a lot of damage. And thanks to things like the Bulkmon and the Pulsemon from this set, you're absolutely able to gain memory back, so you can bring your turn back to you and really put your opponent on a back burner. This also allows you to get rid of some of your opponent's like annoying cards, like maybe Floodgate Rookies and stuff like that. So it's really neat to see that, and Kazuchimon is probably the best like singular card because it really does help out a lot for the Pulsemon deck. Now, talking about Takamikazuchi, and I'll be also talking about Codecracker Fang and Hacker Judge. I think Codecracker Fang and Hacker Judge is the ultimate culmination of the Seeker's strategy in terms of when this card gets into rotation for your Mind Links, this card and this Digimon, all they realistically need is a singular Digimon on the other side, so you need 2 Digimon at least. The main reason why is because when you pull off Alliance with piercing and being able to have barrier, the key factor is if you put this on Kazuchimon, it's doing a ton of damage as long as it gets a Digimon to suspend for Alliance. So by giving it a security check +1, if it has the full Pulsemon line underneath and it rams through a Digimon, the first thing that'll happen is this. It's going to perform 2 checks because of Alliance, but also because of Boutmon's effect, you'll trash the 1 security and you'll gain 2 memory. So I think the factor here is that this card is very strong. Also, you can kind of use Barrier to your advantage if you want to crash. But the key thing is you get Piercing, so a lot of times suspended stuff now will just be kind of crushed by Kazuchimon. So this gives it a lot of credence. But talking about specifically Takumi Kazuchi Ace, I think the cool thing about Takumi Kazuchi Ace is that it's a solid card. It can't go wrong in terms of what it's trying to do. It offers a lot of pressure to hit your opponent hard. One of the major advantages of the actual Takumi Kazuchi is the fact that this card is an Ace Digimon. So for whatever reason, if you have to hard drop this, it's going to do a lot of damage because it can reduce 2 of your opponent's Digimon by -10,000. So that is a lot of DP, so you could just get rid of a lot of stuff. But the key factor is with this Ace Digimon is that its ability to have a Tamer card slide underneath it and then delete after you've reduced is just a very solid combination, because this gives Takumi Kazuchi Ace a lot of abilities to just simply reduce Digimon, get rid of them, and then also be aggressive. And its 1 attacking effect allows you to just trash your security and use its 1 Digimon effects again, meaning that when this card comes down to finish the game, it's going to be doing a lot of damage to the field. Additionally, one of its bigger benefits, I think, is that this card is pretty much a defensive and offensive card, but it's a big departure from the last Takumi Kazuchi. So I do think that if an upcoming ban list is coming, we could see a limitation or banning of BT17's Takumi Kazuchi, because people were talking about what they would hit out of that deck. And I really think it's going to be Takumi Kazuchi. Now that I think that the Ace one is here, because it can be a very suitable replacement and is a lot more fair. So you do have to keep those in mind. But finally, closing off for this video, I think the cool factor of this deck is that Seekers is actually a playable strategy. I do think I wish it had like maybe 1 more line of support, like 1 more Seekers line, but you can supplement this with some of your other Digimon, so it is kind of an up to you. But I do think that this is a great deck. Do I think it's going to be a meta contender immediately? I do not think Seekers will be, but I do think that each of its pieces decks will be good. I think Pulsemon is now kind of complete for what it is, and now you can play the Pulsemon deck a lot more efficiently thanks to the new line of support here. The Fenrir Lugomon deck that focuses on Takumi Kazuchi from BT17 is going to get even better thanks to the new Lugomon included, so that's going to give a lot of searching, and you have access to new pieces if you so choose. Additionally, like I said, Seekers as a deck is playable, so that's the cool thing. And I do think that since a lot of these decks have good pieces, it's just going to make the metagame more diverse when we finally get to the 2.5 metagame that we're talking about for specifically with us here, because we're going to get a lot of meta open up, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun as well. But pretty much that's all I've got for you guys today. I do really enjoy this archetype, and I think it's going to be really cool to see what people do with the Seekers archetype and the cards from the Seekers archetype, because you can really diverse around. But like I said, that's all I've got for you guys today. And as always, this has been Brad from the Ed Army signing off. And for all of you out there, to sign on.